Buongiorno! Hey everyone, it's Mr. Flying Pig HD here. How's it going? Just a little podcast episode for you, and talking about some of the major things that interested me in the sporting world over the weekend. It's been a good weekend of sport. Of course, it's been good for Manchester United. We picked up a hugely important, vital win against Spurs. 1-0, battered them at Old Trafford, didn't we? We absolutely battered them 1-0. No, it was not that convincing, but we've done the job. Spurs didn't look great at all. Mourinho's done his classic Mourinho number on it and nullified them. Let's not forget Spurs have got the best defensive record in the league, and they are a very good, solid outfit. Their starting 11's fantastic. I mean, look at Spurs' back four. You'd have that back four in any side in the Premier League and be happy with it, in my opinion. The back four and the goalie, really. I mean, Lloris is a great keeper. And the rest of the side there, Son, Kane, they've had a great season so far. Kane's been on the ascendancy recently, and Son's just been lighting it up, and they were completely kept out of the game, really. You know, United did very well defending against them. Clean sheet, 3 points, just what the doctor ordered. Jose will be breathing a sigh of relief, because if we'd have not won this game, God knows what would be happening to United right now in terms of the media, in terms of fan reaction. There'd be a backlash. There would be a backlash the likes of which we haven't seen since the Moyes days if we didn't win this freaking game of football. That's how important it was. But now we're only 3 points behind Spurs in the league and 6 points behind City. That's a heck of a lot better than being 6 points behind Spurs and 9 points behind City. I know it's a bit of an obvious statement, but it's true. You know, we are now only 6 points behind City. We're in fourth spot, so we're still in the mix, still hopefully challenging for top four. We've got to be challenging for those top four spaces. That should be our aim, to qualify for the Champions League via the top four spaces in the league. And of course we want to be winning the Europa League, but it's all about finishing the top four in the league. You know, it's not a guarantee you're going to win the Europa League. There's a lot of teams vying for that trophy. It's a knockout tournament cup. Anything can happen. The league's where it's got to be at. The league is also the best indicator of where you're at as a football club. It's about winning games. It's about scoring goals. I think our goal difference is about +4 at the moment, which by this stage of the season for a United side is pretty disgraceful. It's not good enough, but we have had an unfortunate run of results. Lots of draws, lots of giving games away at the end of freaking games. Like Marianne Fellaini, you big donkey. You know, stuff like that happening to us. We've had a bit of bad luck. I thought we absolutely decimated Arsenal the last game when we drew with them 1-1. That absolute toss-pop. Giroud popped up and got that great header in at the end there. That was our only chance of the game. You know, we've had a bit of bad luck, really. But now, hopefully we turn the corner. To beat Tottenham Hotspur, Spurs like that, and take the 3 points in a clean sheet is just, you know, something to build on, something to give confidence to the lads, take some pressure off the lads as well, because being 9 points off Champions League positions in the league would have been a disaster at this stage. So we've cut that down to 6. It's still absolutely fantastic. It's still not freaking good enough. Jose's got a lot of work to do. The players have got a lot of work to do, but hopefully now that will be the case, that Manchester United will get better. Let me talk about the star man of the day, the star man of the last couple of games, really. Henrik Mkhitaryan. What a player he is. He's come in there. He's not really featured for a couple of months. Jose's not had the faith in it. I don't know what's happened. He said that he needed time to acclimatise himself to the Premier League, etc. But I don't know about that. I think Jose just thought this is his team. He's maybe going to utilise Mkhitaryan here and there. Because it seems strange to allow a player who is class. If you think this player is class and he can come in and have a positive effect on your team, it seems strange not to take advantage of that for months. But he's done that now. He's forced his way into the team, and he has grabbed the opportunity with those lovely Armenian fingers of his. He's put in some great performances, and that last game was just a highlight of that. The goal, fantastic, smashed into the top of the net there. He just seems to be getting better and better. It's just a nightmare that he picked up an injury at the end of the game. Absolute calamity, because he's looking like our star man at the moment, the man to make things happen. Real fantastic performances he's put in, and but hopefully, anyway, he's not going to be out too long. Jose said that it's looking likely that he'll be back for the Sunderland game on Boxing Day. I hope that he is, because we need him. He seems like a player with a lot of bollocks about him. His pace is unreal. His vision's unreal. His final product is great. He's a goal scorer. He's shown that. Look at the assists and goals he got last season in the Bundesliga. He is an excellent player, and I'm just happy that we've got him at United. You know, not too many famous Armenian players, but judging on the performances we've seen, he could be up there, you know, with the Pushkases and people like that to represent their individual countries. And I don't mean Pushkas is from frickin' Armenia. I know he's Hungarian, but I'm just trying to make a comparison of the mantle that he can hold. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, if you like. He already does that, I'm sure. But what a great representative of that nation to have playing for Manchester United anyway. I just want to talk about someone else in the footballing world that's just been announced, actually. Cristiano Ronaldo has been crowned the 2016 Ballon d'Or winner. To give it his fourth trophy, I believe. No, I think that's four. I think Messi has 5. Is that right? I should have probably looked this up before talking about it, but I'm pretty sure Messi's got 5 now, and Ronaldo's got 4, in my opinion. One of those should have gone to neither of them in 2010, when there were some fantastic other candidates for it, like Wesley Sneijder and Xavi, Iniesta, etc. Should have freaking won that trophy, definitely. But it went to Messi and Ronaldo over the last 6 years. And now I believe it's at 5-4. I think Cristiano's had the best season out of the lot. I think he scored over 50 goals in a calendar year. Not to mention that Real Madrid, of course, won the Champions League in 2016. And Portugal won the European Championships, which is even more unbelievable. Okay, they're one of the sort of favourites to win it, but that's only really because of Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's face it, Portugal are freaking shit these days, you know. Gone are the days of having Figo and Rui Costa and all these freaking quality players. You know, it's gone. Who's their quality players now? Cristiano Ronaldo and Nani? He's decent, but, you know. So I think that just the fact that Liverpool? What the fuck? Just the fact that Portugal have managed to go on to win the European Championships is unbelievable. Of course, he got injured in the final there early on and didn't actually finish the game, but Portugal still managed to hold out and do it. I think that's a remarkable achievement. For Portugal to win the European Championships without Cristiano Ronaldo on the pitch. And he was majestic in their lead up to the final, scoring goals galore. And it's fully deserved, in my opinion, that he wins it based on that. You know, he's done something that Lionel Messi has not done, and that's win a major international tournament with your country. You know, Messi's still yet to do that. Didn't win the South American Copa America. He's not won the World Cup with Argentina. Guess what? Cristiano Ronaldo has won a major championship with his national team, so you can't take that away from him. Maybe that's a little separator between them in terms of who will go down in history as the greatest player of all time. I think Ronaldo just nicks it. Of course, Messi's an unreal player. They're both fantastic and they're both ridiculously different. Ronaldo's all athleticism, power, precision, pace, and Messi's very sort of elegant, skilled dribbler, just got the vision, more of a team ethic. There's a lot of plus points and negative points from both of them, really. Ronaldo's more well-rounded in terms of physicality, heading, etc. Both fantastic set-piece takers. They're the greatest players to have ever walked the earth. And in a lot of ways, you can argue Pele, Maradona, etc. Yeah, but these two are right up there. They are right up there. And Cristiano Ronaldo, for me, deservedly deserves this fourth Ballon d'Or. And in my opinion, him and Messi, it would be so appropriate if they just go down in history with both the same amount of Ballon d'Ors. Enough about football anyway. This is the time in the podcast where I turn my attention elsewhere. So if you're not interested in anything else other than football, then you may leave now. Okay, you're still here? Well, let's talk about the boxing at the weekend. A fantastic fight card in the Manchester Evening News Arena in Manchester there. Of course, where else is it going to be? The Anthony Joshua versus Molina. And on the undercard there was Derek Chisora versus Dillian Whyte. And what a fantastic slobber knocker that was. I mean, there was a lot of hype leading up to the fight, a lot of bad blood. Derek Chisora throwing tables in the gloves are off interview. Dillian Whyte throwing a glass. Derek Chisora throwing water over him. Almost erupted into a big brawl before the fight even took place on numerous occasions. But it did not fail to live up to what we were hoping it would be, and that is a slobber knocker. They both knocked 7 bells of shit out of each other for 12 rounds, went the full distance. Dillian Whyte's won on a split decision, very close. I personally thought, the volume's up from Dillian Whyte there in terms of throwing punches, landing punches, using the jab a lot more. But Derek Chisora chose his shots a lot more wisely. He put in a lot more power shots, a lot more effective punches. He didn't throw as many punches, but the ones he did had a lot more behind them. So for me, if anything, watching the fight, I watched the whole fight, and I think that Derek Chisora maybe edged it for me. It's quite controversial. There's a lot of call from people in the media for there to be a rematch. That's how close it was. And it was a great fight. All credit to Dillian Whyte. But for me, don't like the bloke, but I think Derek Chisora's won the fight. What did you guys think about that fight? One of the best sort of heavyweight fights I've seen in a while, at least. Still not up there with the absolute greats, but a good fight. It never really looked like at any stage that any of them was going to finish the other. But a good 12-round fight fought out there. at the maximum of their abilities. Both of them really going for it, really put a show on for the fans. And that's what heavyweight boxing needs. I think boxing at the moment, especially British boxing in the heavyweight division, is at an all-time high at the moment. It really is a golden era of boxing, especially in Britain, because look at these fighters you got: Derek Chisora, Dillian Whyte. They're British level fighters, but really they're higher than that, because there's not that much caliber opposition in the heavyweight division coming from around the world. Of course, you've got Deontay Wilder in America, who's got the other organisation's heavyweight title. But other than him, there's not really any names that spring out other than British fighters. Of course, Klitschko's up there, But other than, you've got that, and you've got Derek Chisora, David Haye, Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. I mean, there's a lot of great British heavyweight boxers at the moment. So I think we're being spoiled at the moment in terms of heavyweight boxing. Some great fights coming up, of course. We've got Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko, Wembley Stadium in April. That's going to be a good one. I think Anthony Joshua takes it just because he's a younger man coming up there. They're both really big guys. I think, if anything, Anthony Joshua's a little bit bigger, he's sleeker, he's quicker, and he's very powerful. I mean, he's never really been tested, though. Everyone they've put in front of him has pretty much caved in, other than Dillian Whyte, who put up a good display, but still didn't last more than 5, 6, 7 rounds with Anthony Joshua. So I expect the outcome of that fight to be Anthony Joshua beating Vladimir Klitschko, but you never know. I mean, it's a really interesting fight. It's got my interest because they're both gold medal winners at the Olympics. One of them's literally coming to the end of his career, and the other one's career's really just starting to get going. You've got Anthony Joshua, who's had an unbelievable record so far, but he hasn't come up against someone as experienced, someone as tough, someone as skilled as Vladimir Klitschko. Okay, he's pretty much made the heavyweight division a bit boring over the last few years, but he's got something to prove now. He lost his heavyweight titles to Tyson Fury not so long ago, and he wants to right that wrong, and needs to right that wrong as well for his legacy, because that was a shit performance he put in there. What did he throw, about 2 freaking punches, man? Shocking. Anthony Joshua fought Eric Molina on the fight card on Saturday night, of course, the headlining fight. And I was not blown away by it. Eric Molina just turned up for a paycheck and just flopped around on the ropes for a couple of rounds, didn't do nothing, didn't throw a punch. What an absolute... I hate it when they do that, If you're going to get knocked out anyway, at least go out swinging, pal. Give it a go. He didn't even give it a go. I'm no boxer, but you put me in there with Anthony Joshua, I'd rather get knocked out in 20 seconds and go in there flailing, son. Go in there flailing than do what that Eric Molina guy did. I mean, that to me, I just don't understand it. I've seen it many times before. Audley Harrison versus David Haye. Why do people do that? Just go for it. Go for it. Go out on your sword, pal. Oh, on your shield, I think the correct term is. You know what I mean. That's a little bit disappointing that there wasn't more of a spectacle, but I think the Dillian Whyte, Derek Chisora fight more than made up for that. So, great weekend of boxing. Just thought I'd like to share that with you. I enjoyed watching the fights. If you've not seen the Derek Chisora versus Dillian Whyte fight, I recommend it. It was a good heavyweight contest, and there's some interesting fights coming up. And of course, we've got Tony Bellew versus David Haye in March as well. So early next year, there's a couple of big boxing events coming up. Be interesting to see if Tyson Fury's got any plans of coming back after a suspension. What's going to happen with Chisora and Dillian Whyte? Are they going to have a rematch? Who knows? It's interesting. I want to see one of them take on Deontay Wilder. What is Deontay Wilder doing? It's in America. He's fighting bums. You're fighting bums, Deontay. Let's come over to Britain, fight one of these top heavyweights. Stop mincing around, pal. You're pussyfooting around the whole time. I want to see Deontay Wilder tested against somebody who can actually say, okay, yeah, he's beaten, Derek Chisora. He must be pretty decent. Well, all you've done is beat American bums. American boxing is not what it was a few years ago, decades ago. Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, all these great boxers in the heavyweight division. It's not like that anymore. They've got a bunch of gash-tastic people over there. They've got Deontay Wilder bearing the flag, carrying the flag for them to represent heavyweight boxing. But other than that, they've not got... I mean, maybe I'm a bit ignorant. I don't follow that side of the pond in terms of boxing so much. But over here, the only really name that most people, the average man in the street, would know would be Deontay Wilder. So I want to see that prick fight an English bloke. Let me know what you guys think about that. Are there any plans for that? Hopefully that'll be coming soon. Anyway, that pretty much does it for the Mr. Flying PhD PigCast podcast. Hope you enjoyed listening along. You can catch this podcast on iTunes. It's on the podcast app on your phone. Just search Mr. Flying Pig HD's PigCast podcast, and you'll be able to subscribe there, and you get updates when I post new content on there. You can also listen to this podcast on soundcloud.com/Mr. Flying Pig HD. If you're an Android user or somebody who doesn't like Apple for whatever particular reason, maybe you're a real big fan of oranges and it just is against what you believe in. And also, of course, what the fuck am I talking about, lads? Also on YouTube, at my Mr. Flying Pig HD YouTube channel, you can listen to it on there. For now, this is the Pig. Thank you very much for listening along. If you are on YouTube, chuck a like on this video, subscribe, get commenting below with your thoughts and opinions on anything that I've discussed in this video. I've also set up a new t-shirt shop as well with some choice selections there. You can now get a t-shirt with my very famous Gashtastic slogan on the front there, so take a look at that. I'll put it in the description on YouTube. And also there's some other ones on there. Mr. Flying Pig HD. Get in there, my son. All the classics. So go take a look at that. Links in the description. If not, if you can't follow links, if you're special in that way, just go to spreadshirt.co.uk/Mr. Flying Pig. Anyway, thanks for watching, listening rather, if you're not on YouTube, and there's no video for this, so even if you are on YouTube, you're not watching. I feel like I'm babbling now, I'm going to go. Take it easy, thanks very much.